A bride pays thousands to fly her best friend to Bali, and the friend uses it as a free honeymoon and just doesn't show up to the wedding. Then I'll show you 4 more stories so wild you won't believe real people actually did this. Stay right there. My wedding hadn't even been over a week when I realized my best friend of 10 years had used my big day as a cover for her affair. Let me back up. My husband and I got married in Bali. Dream wedding, beautiful venue, the whole thing. Because it was a destination wedding, we paid for our close friends' flights and hotels. We're talking $2,000 a ticket, plus the hotel. It wasn't cheap, but these were the people we loved most. We wanted them there. Gemma was one of those people. We'd been friends since we were teenagers. I trusted her completely. I paid for her flight, I booked her room, and I even told her she could bring her newlywed husband, John, along. She just had to cover his ticket. Done deal. The wedding day came. Gemma was nowhere. Not at the ceremony, not at the reception, not answering her phone. Nothing. When I finally got through to her afterward, she hit me with the most stunning explanation I had ever heard in my life. She said that since she and John couldn't afford a real honeymoon, this felt like the perfect opportunity. And John apparently just didn't feel like going to a wedding. I was devastated. Not angry yet, just gutted. 10 years of friendship, and she used my wedding as a free vacation while I sat there wondering where she was. So I did what people online suggested. I wanted a paper trail before I did anything legal. I messaged her calmly, told her I was hurt, asked if she really thought I paid for the trip just so she could use it as a honeymoon. Her response? She said John felt like my wedding would ruin the illusion of the trip being romantic for them, and that she thought I'd understand. I did not understand. I sent her an invoice for $2,387, told her she had 30 days before I pursued legal action. She didn't respond. Instead, she started posting cryptic quotes on Instagram about snakes and entitled people. Fine. I stayed quiet and got my paperwork together. Then she sent me a 3-page document, a financial audit, of our entire friendship, going back nearly a decade. I wish I was making this up. She had itemized every single meal we'd ever shared, estimated at $18 per meal, gas money for every time she drove to hang out, a birthday gift from 2017 that she claimed put her in debt, 30 minutes on the phone after my father died, which she billed as grief counseling, moving boxes, emotional labor. Her grand total came out to $2,412, $24 more than what I had invoiced her. So according to Gemma, I actually owed her money. I stared at that document for 10 full minutes and didn't move. I gave her message a thumbs down and went back to building my case. Then while I was going through Bali photos, I stumbled onto a local photographer's Instagram page, someone who had snapped pictures during a sailing excursion my husband and I took. I was scrolling casually when I saw a face I recognized. Gemma, with a man I had never seen before. Not John, not her husband, someone else entirely. And in one of the photos, he had his arm around her. In another, they were kissing. I sat there as everything rearranged itself in my mind. She hadn't skipped my wedding because John felt uncomfortable. She hadn't used it as a cheap honeymoon substitute. She was never there with John at all. She was there with another man in the hotel room I paid for, living out an affair while I stood at the altar wondering where my best friend was. I did some digging, found the man through Gemma's pottery site account. He had photos from Bali on his page, including one taken inside the hotel room I had booked. I took everything to court, showed the judge the texts, explained what the trip was for and what actually happened. Gemma tried to argue the whole thing was a gift with no strings attached. The judge didn't buy it for a second. I was awarded the full amount. Gemma walked out without looking at me once, and then she went online and absolutely lost her mind. Calling me names, making cruel comments about my body, saying things about my late grandmother that I will never repeat. Diabolical, unhinged stuff. The last time she posted about me, I ignored it. Not this time. I posted the photo of her kissing that man and tagged her and John both. My caption was simple. Sorry we missed you in Bali. Hope you had fun. Her phone started blowing up mine within minutes. Calls, texts, voicemails, screaming. Before I blocked her on everything, I sent one final message. You should have just come to the wedding. So here's what I want to know. Was exposing her the right call, or did I cross a line I can't uncross? So what did the internet think? Well, the top comment admitted something surprising right away. They came in fully ready to call OP the bad guy based on the title alone, but flipped completely. Their verdict? Hard. The reasoning was pretty simple. Someone offers you a free trip in exchange for showing up to one event during that trip, and you just don't show up? That's not a misunderstanding. That's just bad behavior. Another commenter agreed but pumped the brakes on the lawsuit idea, pointing out that a judge might just see the flights and hotel as a gift, making it nearly impossible to recover. But then someone pushed back on that, arguing it's less like a gift and more like a contract. Think engagement ring logic. You receive something on the condition you follow through. She didn't follow through. That sparked a whole thread about evidence, with people debating text versus word of mouth. One person laid it out clearly. If the wording in the messages is vague, spending $2,000 in legal fees to maybe win back $2,000 is a losing game. Then someone dropped the key detail. Small claims court doesn't require lawyers, so the math suddenly looks a lot better for OP. The consensus? Gemma is absolutely the wrong one here, and OP has a real case worth pursuing. Stick around. The next stories are just as wild. This next one broke my heart a little. My daughter lost a classmate, middle school, her first time experiencing death up close, and she was absolutely devastated. The funeral was today. I couldn't be there. My PTO got denied, and we can't afford to lose my income. So the plan was simple. My wife, who's currently unemployed, would take our daughter to the funeral mass and just be there for her. My wife has a serious fear of anything death-related. Funerals, viewings. She avoids all of it. We talked before I left Wednesday night. She agreed she would take our daughter and go to the gravesite. She said she could handle it. I'm sitting in the airport when my daughter calls me sobbing. My wife refused to take her, completely backed out. I called my mom, who left work, drove over, and took my daughter to that funeral. They're there right now. Then my wife calls me crying because my mom tore into her. Called her a bad parent. Said it was wrong that she couldn't push through one fear for her grieving child. My wife wants me to make my mom apologize. I told her my mom was right. She only had to sit through one mass. Our daughter needed her. That's the job. And she didn't show up. Now my wife is furious. My mom's getting angry texts. And I'm stuck in an airport wondering, did I cross a line or was I right to say it? Was I wrong to take my mom's side here? Here's one that made me laugh out loud. My husband and I spent months picking the perfect name for our daughter. We landed on Audrey, classic, beautiful, timeless. We revealed it at the baby shower, and we were so excited. Then my sister opened her mouth. She said it was outdated. Said our daughter would get bullied for having a name like that. Just kept going, over and over, ruining the whole moment. Now here's the part I cannot get over. This is the same woman who wanted to name her own daughter Ashley. Ashhliegh, pronounced Ashley. Her husband had to step in and stop her. That actually happened, and she's critiquing Audrey. She didn't stop after one comment either. She just kept making little jabs throughout the entire shower until we finally asked her to leave. Then she started blowing up my phone with messages telling me to change the name. So I blocked her everywhere. I don't think I'm wrong here. Audrey is a gorgeous name. It's not weird, it's not confusing. Nobody's going to spend their whole life spelling it out for people. Unlike, I don't know, Ashhliegh, we're keeping the name. My daughter is going to be Audrey and she's going to be wonderful. But I want to hear from you. What's the most unhinged baby name someone in your life has tried to push? Here's a quick one that got a little awkward. My friend downloaded Tinder and Hinge for the first time, and within a week she was already complaining nonstop. Every guy was ugly, too short, not hot enough. She's 19, she constantly talks about wanting a boyfriend, feeling lonely, wanting that relationship. So I figured she was serious about finding someone. She showed me the guys she was swiping left on. And honestly, they looked totally normal. Decent looking, regular guys. Perfectly in her league, in my opinion. So I told her that. I said these guys are in your league, just give some of them a chance. That's when it got awkward. She pushed back hard, said she's way more attractive than those guys. So I pointed out the obvious. If she were in the league she thinks she's in, she'd be matching with the guys she actually finds attractive. But she wasn't. Not a single one. She did not take that well. She called me a jerk and got defensive. But I genuinely wasn't trying to be cruel. I was trying to help her see reality so she could actually find what she says she wants. Maybe I could have softened it. But was I wrong? She's always saying she wants a relationship, and she's filtering out literally every guy who might actually be compatible. Was I out of line, or was that the reality check she needed? This next one had me fuming. So I just started running, and my gym doesn't have many treadmills. I get there, they're all taken, fine. I do some weights, come back, and I see this girl just sitting on a treadmill, not running, not stretching, just sitting there chatting with her friend on the next machine for at least 15 minutes. I walk over and ask if she's actually planning to use it. She says she's keeping her friend company. I tell her she can do that standing next to the machine instead of blocking equipment people actually want to use. She just shrugs and doesn't move. Then her mom appears out of nowhere. Asks what's going on, I explain it, and she tells me I shouldn't be talking to her daughter like that. I said her daughter shouldn't be sitting on equipment she has no intention of using. Mom says she's free to sit wherever she wants. And I'll be honest, I lost my patience a little. I told her I could see where her daughter gets the entitlement from. Mom goes ballistic, says I'm out of order for bringing her parenting into it. Then a staff member comes over. I explain everything. They ask the daughter to get off the treadmill or leave. My girlfriend thinks I went too far arguing with the mom. Maybe, but the staff backed me up completely. Was I wrong to say something, or would you have done the same thing? So now you know the whole story. Was this person completely in the wrong, or does the other side share the blame? Drop your verdict in the comments below. If you want more stories like this, hit like and subscribe. We drop new ones every week.